the debates we just had. And so that's what we're going to do now. You can already see on the slide, we're going to do a rapid fire true or false. What I need you to do for this is get your post-its ready. You can see the sticky notes on your table. Get a green post-it ready in one hand and get a pink post-it ready in the other hand. As you would have guessed, the green post-it is for you to say true and the pink post-it is for you to say false. So 1 minute and get your post-its ready. One pink, one green in your hands.
And would you please raise your hand and show it to the...
Lovely. Okay, we'll do a test run. If it's true, if some statement is true, what are you going to raise? Raise. Great. And if something is false, what are you going to raise? And I see pinks in the room. Wonderful. We're ready to start. One last rule. Like I said, it's going to be a rapid fire true or false. You will only get as much time as I will take to read the sentence. So there will be a sentence on the slide. By the time I'm done reading the full sentence, your hand should be up. Ready? Great. First one. Only mentees benefit from a mentoring relationship. True or false? I see all pink around the room. Is there a single green? That's amazing to see, and I'm sure the panelists did a great job of putting that forward as well. Great. Let's hear from one or two people about why you're saying false. Everybody said false, so that's interesting. Could somebody share their thoughts? Right. Both mentor and mentee will get benefited from the mentoring relationship. Great. Thanks. A mentee may have more than one mentor at a time. And again, our panelists, I think, gave us a clue on that one. I see green and I see one pink as well. False? Would love to hear from you. Right. Right. I'm just going to repeat for those at the back who may not have heard, sir. He says, ideally, this is great, but practically, it may not be possible to work with multiple mentors at a time. Does anyone else think, what do you think about that? Any comments on that? And I see one more pink at the back. Would you like to share? Only one mentor. Why? It's difficult to work with multiple mentors is something that Sir said. That's great. Anyone has a counterpoint to that?
In today's world, we can easily manage to have multiple mentors. Blended mode, virtually we can meet any mentor, but problems are of different kinds. So obviously, I believe one mentor perhaps would not be able to help the mentee in all the situations.
Right. For those of you who didn't hear ma'am's first part of the sentence, she was saying in today's world, we also have access to multiple ways of communication. So you can be in touch with multiple mentors. I love the multiple perspectives that are coming in the room. So I'm going to still go ahead because we have many such questions lined up for you. Mentors must be older than mentees. Okay, that's false across the room. That's again great to see. And that's something that we discussed earlier as well. So maybe we'll move from here. A mentoring interaction, a mentoring conversation always needs to be in person. I don't see enough post-its up. Nice. I see some pinks and some greens. Can I hear from one pink and one green? Anybody? Go ahead, please. Can we have a mic there, please?
Necessary that one is be in person, face to face. With the availability of ICT, I mean, we can make calls. Through calls also we can discuss and then get our problems discussed.
Right. And
in case some group has the same kind of a problem, so that can be sorted out, or you can get an advice or whatever it is from your mentor at the same time. Even that is when the problem is same, maybe it need not be one to one at that.
Absolutely.
Collectively you can
I
sit
think that's
together.
a brilliant point. When we think mentoring, we often think a one-to-one relationship or a
That will be
one-to-one
more of a
conversation.
counseling type one to one. But
Got it.
mentoring need not necessarily be only
Absolutely.
counseling. So mentoring is a kind of a guidance you give it to your mentee. So that
Which
might
can be
be,
given as
yeah,
a
you
group.
have the common guidance you can give it to them. I feel that way.
That's a great point. I don't think we talked about that too much today. So thank you so much for bringing that into the conversation. And I see one mic ready there as well.
According to me, what I feel is mentoring interactions should always be in person, because as soon as we are free with a person, right, informally, because formally when we talk with a senior person or the mentors, as you feel ki yes, somebody different from us, no, it should be one among us, right?
Right.
So when you are free with the person, then only you will be acceptability increases more,
That's true.
right?
That's
No?
so true.
So that's what my
And
point.
especially during the period of COVID, I think we experienced
Yeah.
that magic of meeting somebody in person. Absolutely. But I also hear the other perspectives about how if you want to also reach out to other people, maybe situated in other geographies, and try and learn from them, other modes of communication could be useful as well. But thank you for bringing that point out about how it's so organic and how it feels very natural if you're meeting somebody in person. Again, great perspectives. Can we have the last one, maybe? Oh, this is something I think we discussed earlier in the conversation as well. So no questions about that. Thank you so much for participating in the quiz. But because we're running out of time, we will now move ahead, and I will hand it back to Kushbu.
Thank you, Rucha, and thank you all the delegates and participants here for your response. I'm sure our own shared understanding of what mentoring means has clearly evolved, and we are more or less on the same page. And section 4.3 in the mentoring blue book that has already been given out in your registration kit, it clearly calls out how national education policy also has emphasized on the need for mentoring, and not only like a one hierarchical conversation, but a more distributed relationship between teacher, student, 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 teacher, leader, leader, leader. So there are different ways how we have to think about, in which we have to think about the mentoring relationship. And our panelists clearly established that mentoring is something that will definitely enhance the learning experience beyond just the trainings or the workshops or the classroom teaching that we have as part of our professional development processes. Going forward, you have these sticky notes on your table. This is something that we really want from you, your inputs. What do you think are the typical areas of or the challenges that you feel that you will benefit from if you had mentors or you had mentoring support? If you could quickly list down 2 or 3 things on the sticky notes, challenges that you face in your everyday work for which you need mentoring. So in this scenario, you are looking at yourself as a mentee. Please write down and we'll collect those sticky notes from you. Collect this. Next slide, please, Richa. Now take another sticky note and change the lens, change the hat. Now you're a mentor. So what are those areas in which you feel you can offer mentoring support to someone in your school, to someone in your college, to someone in your premises? If you were a mentor, what areas would you feel comfortable giving mentoring support on? Yeah, again, 60 seconds and we'll now come, our co-facilitators will come to you and we'll collect those sticky notes from you. Remember, this is your promise to the ecosystem. These are areas in which you are ready to be a mentor. Yes, done. Okay. So quickly. Moving next. Next, please. Next. Yeah. Now, as Professor S.C. Roy was talking in the beginning, we will come and collect it, sir. Please don't, it's okay. We will come and collect. Thank you. So as Professor Roy was telling that, one of the key chapters in the mentoring blue book is who is a good mentor? Who is an ideal mentor? What are the characteristics? And if you refer to the handout that's been given to you, if you could go to the last page of the handout, in your jute bag that you received, there was a handout. These are some of the characteristics that have been called out. They have already been highlighted in the blue book. Now, in next 5 minutes, what we want to do is, out of these, what are those characteristics or traits that you feel, they're not so important and they can maybe stop featuring in a national level document? What are those characteristics that we may have missed out and they must start featuring in the document? They must become part of one of these bubbles. And what are those things that you strongly feel that they must continue? They should remain there. So out of these, which would you want to remove? Which would you want to continue? And which would you want to add, which is missing there? Yeah, so next 5 minutes, please take your time. Write down as many characteristics as you want. We'll again collect those sticky notes from you. And maybe we'll also hear from a couple of you. Thank you. These are your inputs that will go into the National Blue Book. And we really appreciate your sharing these thoughts with us. If you are short of sticky notes, just let us know. We'll bring more to you. Maybe we can have some sticky notes here also in the front row. Sorry, sir. Committed gets a vote. Yes. Neeraj, could you give the sticky note to this group and just can you go to the previous slide? Yeah, so let's see. What should stop, what should start featuring, and what should continue featuring? We'll take the sticky note so that we don't miss it out. We'll take it back with us. Yes. So these are, if you see in the handout, these are mentor characteristics and these are mentee characteristics. Today in the discussion, we didn't touch upon mentee characteristics, but I think energetic is something that appears on both the sides. Mentor and mentee both have to be energetic about this interaction. And you would find it interesting that in the Blue Book draft that you have received, the working committee has also called out the personas, like who is a typical mentee, what does a typical mentee look like, what does a typical mentor look like, so that it becomes very relatable personalities to us. And then we are able to see people around us into those roles. That's a great point, ma'am. So please put your vote on continue featuring. Definitely, the working committee members have put a lot of their thoughts behind why these characteristics have been specially called out. No? Do you think you have got enough time to pen down your thoughts? Can we move forward? I know it's also time, it's getting dark outside. Yes? Okay. So Neeraj and Richa will help us collect your thoughts. And in case we need more clarity, we will always reach out to you. Now we know Cotton University is this, one of these very generous spaces who have supported us with this consultative workshop. So, yeah. So just because we are short of time, just because the day is coming to an end, doesn't mean that our consultative process has to stop. Like Professor Roy already in the beginning explained, what are the key sections of the handbook? There are these 6 sections. In this, in today's 1 hour, we could touch upon section 4 and section 5, which was about what is mentoring, concepts of mentoring, the mentor characteristics. And Professor Roy himself talked about section 3, which is the vision for National Mission of Mentoring. Similarly, there are other sections out there. It even has a section 6 on the technology infrastructure. Many of us talked about that why in-person thing is not a roadblock. We can go beyond, use the digital media, use the ICT and connect to our mentors. So what would that technology look like? There's a whole section dedicated in the Blue Book on that. Please go through them. Please send your feedback to us, your insights, inputs to us. NCTE team has already put out this Blue Book on its website. There's an email ID mentioned there. Whatever comes to you, whatever occurs to you, please don't block it. Just send out an email. We'll consolidate and make sure that your voices and your opinion is, it's heard and it's put into the Blue Book back and any forthcoming documents that NCTE will be releasing. Yeah. So thank you so much. This was a short time, but I'm sure there's so many inputs that have already flown in, and I myself feel very, very enriched in terms of what all I heard and what I heard from panelists and from you. And we'll go through these sticky notes, and we'll make sure that these find their way into the Blue Book. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being such an energetic and such an interactive group. We really enjoyed facilitating this consultation process. Thank you.
Well, I believe this was a very productive session indeed. Beautiful deliberations and suggestions from our speakers, from the audience, the participants, everybody. It was really too good. And I must thank Ms. Awasthi for making this so interesting. A credit, I must say, being able to keep the attention of all the people during a post-lunch session. This is commendable. There are many points which the participants can take back with them to reflect upon and to work upon. And so I really think that this calls for another bigger round of applause for Ms. Awasthi and this whole session. Well,